I'm here at the Port of Brownsville, looking at, in the distance, at Deimos. It's got about a got about a 15-mile or so journey. Past this location, so it will be passing this spot here probably in the next 2 hours. So I'm up the road here, just at Isla Blanca Park. In the distance, I can zoom in, is Deimos coming up the coast. I'm going to adjust the camera here. All right, we have a real ocean camera going on right now. There we go. Let me adjust it up a little bit more, just a minute. All right, that's pretty good. You can see Deimos there in the center of the screen. It is a little bit hard to see from this distance, but let me know how the audio is. And you can see behind that dark object in the center is a tall structure coming up the coast, and that will be passing us relatively soon. It'll come into view. It's coming toward us. It's going to have to pass through this channel here where I'm standing, and it will be massively tall. Hopefully the reception will stay good. I can always, if we lose reception, do the video and upload it afterwards. So that faint object at the I'll use my hand, right, kind of in the center of the screen. I think I messed it up. There we go. Kind of that faint object behind that black object there is the Deimos oil rig being pulled. I guess pulled or moving. I'm not sure if it's moving on its own. I don't know if it's moving on its own power or not, but it is coming this way. This is the only way out, so it's going to pass in front of us here. I can turn to the left here and get a shot of the orbital launch platform. Just here to the left, a little ways. That is the launch tower over there at SpaceX. So, yep, it's all happening here today. Launch tower in the distance, 5 miles away, and the Port of Brownsville is further west and north of the SpaceX launch site. I'm about 5 miles away from the SpaceX launch site right now. There we go. So it's clearly it's moved, or the boat that was in front of it moved. So I guess they don't seem to be tied together, the boat and the Deimos rig there. It is a windy day, so I'm holding an umbrella and trying to balance things out here. It's awesome to be out here at the ocean, though. That's for sure. It's a nice sunny day. We've had a lot of cold days recently, and going forward, maybe we'll see some sunshine. I can zoom out to give you a little different shot of the port here. So it's a little ways for the Deimos to get over here. And I will pan to the right and to the left to give a little shot of the Port Isabel area. Over that way is the bridge, which goes across from the Port Isabel, across the way there to the South Padre Island, which I'm on now, here to the right. And there's some fishing and other stuff around this area as well. And again, of course, to the left there is the SpaceX, is the northern part of the beach, which goes all the way up along the ways there to the left. And that is across the little channel we got here. And there is that's the exit from the port up this way here. So we are 5 miles from the launch site over there. And that is the booster 4 there. And Starship 20, just to the left of the base of the launch tower, there's Starship 20. But this stream is to get the visual as the Deimos passes by this location here. So it will be massive. This will be, unless I do it in 4K, I could end the stream as it gets close and then start recording in 4K and upload that. I'm not sure. I wish I had a couple cameras. I do wish I had a couple cameras. The other one I have over there at the launch site doing the 24-hour, 24/7 stream of the launch site currently. Looks like the Deimos has moved. This is the kind of camera I'd like to have on every moon throughout our solar system where there is an ocean. I'd like to have an ocean camera just like we're looking at here on the moons of Titan, on Venus, on Triton, over around, I believe it's Neptune, has the moon Triton, has geysers since 1989, has been spilling out water vapor into the surrounding environment around Triton, the Neptune moon. You know, we hear about a lot of legends of the ocean and stuff like that, and the word Triton is one of those mythical, apparently mythical characters, personalities, and yeah, there is a moon around Neptune called Triton, and it has water as well, an ocean on Triton, as well as Ganymede. There's an ocean on Ganymede. Ganymede has 10 times more water than the Earth has. It's a moon around, I don't remember where it's a moon around, but Ganymede has a lot of water, as well as does Enceladus, has a lot of water as well. An ocean, they both have oceans. So to have this type of ocean camera on those moons, even this with an iPhone, if we were able to get an iPhone up there, but definitely we're looking to get a space-ready camera because the atmospheric conditions on these other moons are not similar to our atmospheric conditions here. Most of the moons apparently do not have an atmosphere, so it would have to be maybe a submarine. So an under the ocean, in the ocean, we would have to maybe drop a submarine, a mini submarine, into with some cameras, several cameras, and a high gain antenna to transmit that signal back to the Earth. And just a kind of a similar mission to what they've done over there in the South Antarctic region. They've already done these. If we needed to dig a mile deep pathway to drop in a video camera or something, or even a submarine, they've already done that in the Antarctic region. So it's nothing that I'm proposing is new. It's really just the gathering of technology that's already been created, and the money. So there's going to be an Ocean Camera Space Corp stock offering. It's a private company, so there will be in the future, as things come together and progress, once a PPM is made, private placement memorandum is gathered together. I may just look at other private placement memorandums for space companies. PPM, if anyone has a SpaceX private placement memorandum from several years ago, please send me a copy, because I would like to duplicate that with some minor adjustments and create an Ocean Camera Space Corp PPM stock offering sometime around the June time frame. May of this year, in 2022, is when I have it slated to offer the PPM for stock sale here at Ocean Cam. We're looking to raise about anywhere from $5 billion to $25 billion, so that we can hire several of the people already on the LinkedIn connections that I've already made on the Ocean Camera Space Corp LinkedIn group, as well as many of the LinkedIn members who've joined my private personal LinkedIn, Paul S. Mamakos. Over 200 LinkedIn connections there already. So, and then to give equity to the different people who might join the board and really activate and move forward on a space mission to the moons, Enceladus, Triton, and several of the others. There is a link with more information on the oceancam.space website with mission information about the top 3 moons that we'd like to visit. Currently, the moons around Neptune are very attractive. The moon Enceladus around Saturn is very top. It's our number 1 mission that we'd like to do. Also, the Triton is a very worthwhile mission as well. So I have the trajectory data on the oceancam.space. It's a PDF of several trajectory options for going to Enceladus to and from. So it would be a collection mission, and we would gather the imagery and possibly some of the material from the surface of that moon and bring it back to the Earth. We may just skip if we were able to get a high gain antenna over there as well on the mission. Then we wouldn't need to do a return mission. We could just transmit the data. But if we could possibly take some water samples while we're there on the moon of Enceladus, because the trajectory data has already been figured out, some options for doing the trajectory to and from Enceladus from the Earth. And we have a boat coming into view here. It says Murphy's Law, everybody. If you know anything about Murphy's Law, that is Murphy's Law. You want to have all your ducks in a row, and you want to have several backups. They do dolphin tours here in the ocean as well. So there's just a fishing boat going out. These fishing tours leave from the bay here. There's a place where boats have tickets being sold that you can go out for a day for an hour and a half for $13 as of 2021, and do an hour and a half ocean viewing tour. And then I think the fishing is up there. Going fishing costs a little bit more money, but the trajectory data for Enceladus is up there. I'd like to get, if anyone is good with figuring out that information, or if anyone knows of any prior PDFs that have been created showing the trajectory data to Triton or some of the Neptune moons, or even maybe Titan. Those are several of the top 10 locations that I'm looking at. But if you have any private placement memorandums from either SpaceX or Tesla or any of the other space companies like Blue Origin, I'd like to model it off of those companies, those businesses, even a private placement memorandum from Intuitive Machines, or even Sierra Space or Space Tango, or maybe Orbital Reef, or there's many space companies out there. So I'd love to take a look and show that to a representative here, and have a lawyer do the modifications after I myself have done some modifications also to that PPM to make it ready for OceanCam, and see if any of that wording makes sense for what we're trying to do here. So the email here is info@oceancam, CAM, like a camera, oceancam.space. If you'd like to spell out the word camera, I have another email, info@oceancamera.space, and I also have an email called info@oceanx.space, OCEANX.space. Three emails. They all come to me. So Paul S. Mamakos, Ocean Camera Space Corp CEO. This looked to be, maybe it was moving about 7 miles an hour. So at least when it started, I wasn't very close up, so that's just a guesstimate, approximate speed. And it seemed that the Deimos had picked up some speed as it was leaving the. I was doing a live stream from across the road where it was parked for a long time, just this morning, about an hour ago. MBB, hello everybody, and good evening. Good evening to you, MBB. Let me know how the audio is, because sometimes I'll do a live stream and the audio is fragmented, and if it's going to be spotty audio, then I could just unplug the mic, or I could record the stream in 4K and upload it later with excellent audio and excellent imagery. So I am taking a hit right now as far as imagery to do it live, but I can easily record it in 4K and upload it later with excellent audio and excellent imagery. So 5x5, says Slava. Thank you. Thanks, MB. Thank you. Mule Skinner, yes, Michael Paul of the Boca Chica SpaceX group had said that it was going to Pascagoula, Mississippi. Pascagoula, Mississippi. If maybe somebody at Google or maybe a phone company, maybe AT&T would like to sponsor a trip over there to Enceladus. Maybe we can get an Apple iPhone up there, or maybe we can talk with Apple. Maybe Apple would like to sponsor the Ocean Camera Space Corp mission, to be one of the sponsors of the OceanCam.space mission. I know we are going to approach BlackRock and several of the other foundational companies in the investment space. So I am going to approach them as well, but it would be good if we had maybe if we were going to use an iPhone up there, or maybe we had a GoPro phone. Maybe GoPro would like to sponsor the OceanCam mission to get that surface level, from the surface, not from the orbit, surface level video imagery of every ocean in the solar system. There's over 200 moons in the solar system, so there's a lot of missions we can do. And as we film and photograph the oceans on these different worlds, moons, planets, asteroids, wherever else there's an ocean in our solar system, above the surface, below the surface of the ice on many of these moons, then we can harvest the water. So we can actually taking video of the ocean, we won't be skeptical about whether the data indicates an ocean or indicates water or liquid. We will have seen the liquid, so there won't be any more speculation, and it won't take 25 years to confirm or doubt. We won't have to doubt the spectroscopy information or the data that we got from satellites in orbit, or from telescopes aimed at the various planets and moons. It's nice to have a telescope and get data, but it's nicer to have video imagery of the liquid oceans and water. Because water, it's nice to have water, because then you can survive in space. If you want to grow a garden like I'm doing here in Brownsville, Texas, and if the human body, if you want to replace 94% of your body with robotic parts, and maybe you can cut your head off, and maybe your heart, or maybe some of the arteries and veins going to your brain, take your head and put it on a robot with a fake heart, and maybe everything below your head would be fake, but at least your head and your thinking would continue. You wouldn't be able to feel anything, or maybe you'd have some artificial feeling. Maybe some of you really hope to have that type of space mission. I hope to have the type of space mission where I actually go up there in space just as I am now, with arms and legs, natural human arms and legs, with my own original biological parts, ungenetically modified, natural, non-GMO, so I can feel everything. I don't want to have fake robotic feeling when I get there into space, because I want to really celebrate, and I don't want to have some kind of fake feelings. So yeah, that's my hope, to get up there in space, but I'm going to need some water when I get there. So if you can help me and help the other people who do want to go to space get up there, and not only help us get up there, but to change the trajectory of the Earth, the people on the Earth, so that we can think bigger, think a lot grander, doing that kind of surface level video imagery of oceans and water on other moons and planets here in our solar system will open the trash can and take out all the data that we've dumped over the last 60 years, because it's no longer speculation. We'll have proved that yes, there is liquid there, and you know what? We can survive on it. We can grow. We can get out of the bounds of the economic system here on the Earth, and we can expand our capability as humans here on the Earth, and not have a worry about taking up all the space on the Earth. I know there's a lot of empty space out west and in many of the unpopulated rural areas of the United States, and not only in the United States but everywhere here on the planet. There's a lot of empty land doesn't have anything growing on it. Even in the Sahara Desert, they're reclaiming some of the area over there in Dubai with some. It just takes effort and work. But if we're afraid of the sun expanding in the next 2 billion years and encapsulating the Earth in its aura, then it might be worthwhile to either we can move out there to other planets and moons and inhabit them starting today, or we can maybe learn to be Jedis and move the earth with our energetic spirit, which is also possible, but a lot of people are too lazy to do the meditation. So we will have to, at least based on today's cultural trends, learn to build ships and go out there and explore and survive on these other moons and destinations out there in space, because the Earth is just one of billions of suns, planets around the sun here. There's billions of suns in our galaxy, I believe, and there's thousands, if not billions, of galaxies out there. So if there's a billion suns in our galaxy and there's billions of galaxies, how many suns does that make, you know? So anyway, the goal, the effort that I'm doing is to start the journey and to help us focus and keep on track so that we can do that space mission with what you know, with what I can do, being just a mere human here on the Earth, and see if we can change not only accomplish a mission, but change the story of humanity. Right now, the only story we have of humanity is of certain rich space organizations and entrepreneurs and individuals here on the Earth going up there into low Earth orbit. I mean, there is some history about the moon, but on a larger scale, it's not sustainable. So in the public sector, all we have is that a few people have gone to the moon, a handful of people have gone up there into orbit, and right now we celebrate when someone of a different ethnic origin, or even skin color, or even gender, gets up there into low Earth orbit and is in space for less than a year. So we are currently celebrating when a different ethnic individual gets up there into space, into low Earth orbit on the International Space Station. Yeah, Steven says the other rig, so it's Phobos and Deimos, they're two oil rigs. The other one is already in Pascagoula, says Steven. Thank you, Steven Lewis. Yeah, it's Conrad, it's coming closer, because I was over across from it when it was parked up there about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago, and it had moved to the left, and the only direction that moving to the left takes you is to where I'm now standing. So it will be passing us in front of us right here, probably within 20-25 feet. It'll be 20 to 25 feet away from us from where we are right here, right now. The bay here is about 40 feet deep in the center, so it will pass by us right here, everybody. It's moving toward us. I'm not sure how fast it is, MBB. Conrad, Joe. John says it's being moved by a tug, 4 kilometers an hour right now. Right, good stuff. 4 km. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, Conrad. John says maybe an hour or so to reach this spot here. Cool, cool. I haven't been on camera today. Maybe I should do that. I'll get on camera here briefly. I'm gonna have to zoom out. Moved by 2 tugs, says Wes. My legs are getting numb. Ocean Camera Space Corp, Paul S. Mamakos. Standing on the granite slabs here, holding the umbrella, getting the shot. Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon to you. Good evening, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. In 2022, or maybe sometime from the future, looking back at how it used to be here on the earth. Or maybe from another dimension. I'm gonna have to sit down a little bit. Maybe I'll lower the camera. That's what I think I'll do. Yeah, I'm gonna lower the camera, everybody. It'll take me a few minutes. Here we go. I put down the umbrella as well. Keep my legs from going numb, you know. Standing up in this granite. We might lose reception as I lower the camera. That's the one drawback from lowering the camera. It's good to have it up high. So I'll work with that if that happens. If we lose reception, I will raise the camera again. So we'll see. Just a few minutes. All right, almost there, almost there. Put the umbrella back up, just a minute. All right, back to 100%. Let me know if anything has changed on the audio or anything else. So. Hi from Tucson, says Nick, Arizona. Awaiting Rocket Lab launch in 40 minutes. It is now 1:24 p.m. here. Well, it's 1:20 something. 1:25, 1:26 p.m. right now. Nick is waiting on the rocket Lab launch. I believe in New Zealand, right? Rocket Lab is in New Zealand, I believe. Okay, John says 3 in formation, but 2 are tailing as brake and steer. Signet Warhorse 2 has the tow. MBB says, Nick, the launch of Rocket Lab will be in about 70 minutes. Yep, Deimos is on the move. You know, I only know so much here. I try and do what I can. There's a lot that I don't know. I don't know the next moves. I just know what I can see in front of me. So if any of you know any of the future moves here at Ocean Camera Space Corp on how we're going to accomplish the Ocean Cam mission of filming from another moon or planet here in the solar system or asteroid, you know, let me know. If you have any helpful information, data, connections, maybe you know somebody that would help it happen, or you have some money that you want to send to us, or you have some equipment or data, whatever it is. You know, I don't know the next moves, but I know it can be done. So I'm holding the space and also taking what moves I can to move this forward. And I speculate that there's anywhere from a 98% chance that I will not be successful and the team will fail. But there is a small chance that we will actually get up there within our lifetime. I'm 45 years old now. I actually know how to rejuvenate the body due to my studies of wellness, and actually I know how to live for thousands of years in the physical body that I'm in now. Using some of the detoxification practices taught in yoga called Kaya Kalpa. I wrote a book about it, my understanding of through the wellness studies that I did in the yoga and the natural healing traditional Chinese medicine studies, and also the meditation and the astral projection. All that information has given me the knowledge of how to live for thousands of years if I choose to, or I can just choose to die like the everyday average human and live a normal lifespan according to current generic human standards. But if you go to India, you will find that there are people that live much longer than the average human because they do a lot of detoxification as well as energetic practices, and those allow them to not to accumulate dead matter in the body, but to get rid of the dead matter through the detoxification practices and allow the lymph in the body to move, which allows you to detox. So a lot of yogis like myself and Jedis do not drink any alcohol because alcohol is a preservative. So drinking alcohol does, the stomach produces alcohol. So alcohol is a natural product in the body. But if you were to drink excessive amounts of alcohol, that would actually harm your liver and your kidneys. And if I've been a surgical technologist for a couple of years in hospitals in Virginia, I'm no longer I'm not current as a surg tech, but I have assisted in hundreds of surgeries, and a few of those surgeries involve the removal of the kidneys from some people who had drinking a lot of alcohol and other products. So the kidney actually develops bubbles. There's large, if you blow a bubble in water, you get that big bubble in the water. So the same type of thing forms on the kidneys. They bubble up with gases. So you can really harm your body by drinking alcohol. I mean, it's also a good way to live a normal human lifespan as well. So if you want to live an average human life of 100 or 150 years, you can drink alcohol probably, maybe smoke some cigarettes too, and that'll keep you firmly in your body. And there are people who do astral projection, and they do drink alcohol, and they do smoke cigarettes, but they usually end up dying somewhere around somewhere before the age of 100 years old. And they may live a long lifetime as far as regular human standards are concerned. But if you want to live a Jedi lifespan of 1,000 years or 1,500 years, then it might not be wise to drink alcohol and eat a lot of preservatives. But if you do choose to do that type of lifestyle, there's always hope. You can drink a lot of celery and cucumber juice, and you can reverse anything. So if you have diabetes or that kind of thing, there is a doctor called Dr. Gabriel Cousins who wrote a book on that there is a cure for diabetes, and it only takes 30 days to reverse type 2 diabetes. But if you want to go talk to your doctor will tell you that it is incurable, and you'll have to probably eventually cut off your legs or your toes, or maybe you lose some of your fingers, because the doctor has never done the work, the study, and doctors don't believe in energy. So when you go to a doctor, you get what you look for. If you go to a doctor, your everyday normal doctor, there are doctors who are hip to the information and the knowledge that you can heal the body with diet and nutrition. But there are other doctors who don't believe in nutrition, and those doctors also get cancer and die just like everybody else. So if you want to live an average human lifespan, go to your doctor, and your doctor will tell you that you can take certain drugs, and you might have to have your limbs cut off due to the diet, or maybe you can get a pacemaker installed, or maybe we can do some type of nip and tuck, or maybe we can cut something or install something in your brain so that you can have some more normal average experience in your body. But if you want to forego the money and the outlay of money, and if you don't want to give your doctor a lot of money so he can get a new vehicle, a lot of doctors like to drive nice cars, they buy big houses, and they have a lot of expenses. Medical school costs a lot of money. So you got to pay for the doctor's medical school. So if you want to give your doctor a new vehicle or car, stay on your medication. Keep going to your doctor every so often, like you're supposed to, as an average human being. And then occasionally you'll have to get something cut off, or maybe you'll have to get something installed. And you can be a robot like a lot of the other robots out there who've gotten pacemakers and other things, and everybody needs somebody to worship. So a lot of people worship their doctor. My dad was a doctor. He was a plastic surgeon. My mom is a retired nurse. So, you know, I understand that whole philosophy. And my dad used to buy a new Corvette every year. So if you want to buy your doctor a new Corvette, just stick to the plan. Stop trying to make it complicated. The doctor never went to school to learn anything about nutrition. So keep it simple. The doctor learned his trade. The doctor paid over $500,000 to get his skill. And just be quiet and let him cut off whatever it is that's going wrong in your body, and stick to the plan. You know, keep drinking your alcohol and doing everything else that the everyday average human beings do. You know, so anyway, there's no reason to make it complicated. You know, there's no reason to live longer than everybody else. You know, you should just stick in with the crowd and keep eating the fermented fermented food is actually good. If you can get some kefir or some cabbage or kimchi, that's all good stuff. If you like to spike your blood sugar, you can eat a lot of rice. You can eat a lot of pasta, and that will for sure spike your blood sugar level and maybe lead to diabetes in the future as well. So keep eating the potato chips and the French fries and the high fructose corn syrup in your ketchup, and keep eating the white bread, and your doctor will be happy, everybody will be happy, and you'll live a normal human lifespan. So, thanks, Michael. Yeah, Dan, yeah, go share the link, everybody. Every now and then I gotta throw in some of my knowledge, because I have a bachelor's degree and I'm a world expert in meditation. So if I weren't to share that information sporadically at proposed times, I would be not offering my best. So I share that information just to give people a different option that they don't normally hear about. So I've got it pretty undercover here. I'm not trying to change anybody. I'm just offering options. And always check with your doctor about the best way to live a healthy lifestyle. I'm definitely not any medical representative. You can call me a yogi, or you can call me a Jedi, and that is a mythical skill, and there is no evidence to support anything that I'm talking about. I'm a storyteller. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, always right with having the ocean and the ocean cam picture, right? Yeah, it goes hand in hand here. Okay, Nick says Rocket Lab will go live in about 35-40 minutes. Yes, Mr. Debris, it is currently coming east. The Deimos platform is coming toward us. We are to the east of it right now, and it will turn left north once it gets out of the bay, I believe, unless it goes south for some reason. But to the right south is Mexico. About 7 miles south of here is Mexico. So I believe it will either go out straight out to sea, or maybe it will veer left immediately and go north. Maybe it'll stick close to the coast. I'm not sure of the route of the Deimos. Hey, Elena. Wes says it looks like 3 tugs, 1 in the front and 2 in the rear. There must be somebody else covering this, because I don't know how you could see that from this picture. Maybe, is anybody else covering this from another angle. Yeah, Mr. Debris, I am on South Padre Island, yes. Yes. Okay, RGV has some, Dan says RGV had some aerial footage that was posted about 25 minutes ago. Good stuff, awesome everybody. RGV is on it, everybody. Another YouTuber, and he rents a plane and gets up there and does the above view, captures the view from above. Oh, they've got a live stream now too, everybody. So check them out on YouTube. You probably get a good shot from above. I guess they're doing a live stream from overhead with a plane. Are they live streaming from a plane? Sorry. They got a drone up there, says Dan. Good stuff. Yeah, Helena, so they are moving the Deimos platform from the Port of Brownsville, and they're going to be taking it to Mississippi, a good ways away. If you were driving from here to Mississippi, that would be about 12-hour drive at least. So it's maybe even much longer. So because to drive from here to Tampa, Florida would be about a 25-hour drive. So if we were to go to Mississippi, that would be at least halfway, if not much further. So maybe toward the 70% of the way to Florida from here. Yep, long drive. So I'm sitting at on some granite slabs here in the ocean. I heard a while back that Elon had funded some of the development of the coastline here around South Padre Island. I don't know what he put in place and what was here already, but I know some of these granite slabs going out on the pier were here from a long time ago, even maybe 50 or more years ago. They put these granite pieces in here. So, but I did hear that SpaceX or Elon did donate quite a bit of money to develop the South Padre Island area a while back. So that pointy thing in the center of the screen is moving toward us, and that will be turned into, I believe they will disassemble much of the original oil rig structure and reconvert it into a launch platform for the Starship. If not a launch platform, then maybe a landing platform, but I believe it will be a launch platform. And they will, once it is finished, Elon had mentioned putting one of those, maybe the Deimos, off the coast here, about 20-25 miles off the coast. And if they eventually never got the permission to launch the Starship from the launch platform or from the pad over at the launch site here at SpaceX Starbase Texas, that they would transport these Starships off the coast about 20 miles, wherever the Deimos eventually gets positioned, and launch off the coast here, free and clear of any concerns from the Brownsville, Boca Chica community. So. because the you know, once you get into international waters, then the jurisdiction changes. So they are much freer to do things off the coast quite a ways than when they are under everybody's noses over there at the launch site. I believe the delays in the approval of the FAA environmental review from 2014 are what's motivating them to take action on the oil platform here that we're seeing being moved out of the port here today. If they had gotten that permission to launch from the launch site here at SpaceX launch site, South Texas, Starbase, then what reason would they have to activate the Deimos oil rig as a launch platform? Mr. Debris, yes, they will make a left and probably go to open sea. It's probably a shorter distance if they go direct. No, we had a bunch of stormy weather over the last week or longer. So maybe they were waiting for a sunny day, more calm weather to do this move. And today being a sunny day, maybe it was the right time to make the move. There was a road closure today which was canceled. So I don't know if anyone over there at the SpaceX facility in at Starbase is working and paying attention to this move, but maybe some of those individuals that would normally be working on the development of the launch center over there at the SpaceX Starbase launch site are now have their attention here on the move and the you know, getting the Deimos over there out of the port and on its way. So. I will zoom out and get a shot here to the left. There is a dolphin. I don't see any dolphins, but there is a dolphin boat. I believe it's a dolphin boat off the coast here to the left. And this is the normal area where the dolphin boats go to check out to do tours and show people the dolphins in the water. So for about $13, you can come to the port over here just off of South Padre Island and get on the dolphin cruise and move around the port here and look at the dolphins in the water. So they oftentimes hang out about 10-15 feet off the coast where I'm now sitting. So that boat and others like it will come and hang out where we are currently filming from and see some dolphins here as well. To the left, yeah, that's the launch tower over there. Yep, Mr. Debris. MBB, yes. Deimos looks awesome, even from this far away. Yep. So there is a pathway to the SpaceX facility over there by the ocean. You kind of got to go around the way here to the right, and the build site is on the ocean. But the depth of the ocean over by the build site is very shallow. So there aren't any boats that go over there. But it is on the bay here. And if you had maybe a kayak or something like that, you could go right up to it probably. And you'd want some boots on as well. So there's a beach right there. Even by the launch site, there's a beach. If you were to go around or just walk across from the Highway 4 north, you would hit the beach. Even though there is no sand there, it is a muddy area. There is water there as you walk north from the Highway 4 between the build site and the launch site. if you're looking to buy land, that might be a good spot in the future. Right now, it's probably relatively cheap, but I imagine that land could probably go for $1 million, $2 million an acre, you know, easy. Right now, I believe the lots are going from anywhere around $30,000 up to $80,000, even up to $1 million for 2/10 of an acre, everybody. So it's getting a little crazy over there at the launch site, but some of that land is priced radically different. But depends how long you want to sit around, and if you have any belief that the land will become valuable, or maybe it will not become valuable. Maybe SpaceX will not be able to launch out of the area, and it will stay the same value or maybe decrease in value as the war and economic conditions here in the United States and around the world denigrate. So depends what kind of future we want to have and what kind of action we take today to make that a result. I don't see any birds out here that I would want to save. Do you see any turtles in the ocean here that would be worth preventing SpaceX from launching? So I've been streaming here for almost an hour, 57 minutes. I have not currently seen any animals or wildlife within 5 miles of the SpaceX facility, which is about 5 miles away south of here. I have not yet seen any animals or marine life that would be worth halting a life-changing, Earth history-changing launch out of the South Texas launch site over there at the SpaceX Starbase facility. But maybe you see something that I don't see. Maybe there's something worth protecting here, like that bird over there. I know a lot of people like to eat duck and birds and chicken and all and fish. So maybe we need to protect that bird so you can kill it and eat it for dinner. But SpaceX is trying to do a launch out of the South Texas launch site, and it's currently running into opposition from the out-of-state Sierra Club individuals and other concerned citizens to save the trees and the forests, which are not currently here anymore, and to save the coastline and the various insects and fish in the water and the marine life in general. So if you care about the marine life, I don't know what to tell you, but this ocean here is the same as every other ocean around the planet Earth, and they have spent quite a bit of money over there to build a launch site and a orbital launch tower, and a lot of people have spent a lot of money and a lot of time. You know, many of the smart individuals here on the Earth are over there. A lot of engineers are over there at SpaceX, and a lot of local individuals as well, welders, and people have spent a lot of blood and time and money to build that site that we're looking at. But it is a little bit unnatural in the area, and you know, maybe we should protect the environment, you know. So maybe the history books don't need to be changed. Maybe the children don't need to be inspired. Maybe we should just keep watching cartoons at home and stay on the Earth. And maybe it's better. Maybe it'd be better if we didn't go out there into space and explore the stars. Maybe it'd be better if we didn't inspire the children and inspire each other. Maybe we should just keep digging the oil out of the Earth and protect the environment that way. Keep digging the oil out of the Earth and getting cold in the winter, and maybe we should just stay home. It's getting closer. Can definitely see it a lot easier now. And I can still zoom in quite a ways. You know, this drive to go to space is not a unique, it's not a unique thing. There are many histories of the Earth. Here in the United States, we have a certain history of the Earth. In the Christian Bible, we have a certain history of the Earth. In the Jewish tradition, we have a certain history of the Earth. The Jewish people even talk about non-humans in their books, in the times of the giants and stuff like that. And even the Hindu people talk about a different type of history of the Earth, and the Hindu tradition goes back many billions of years longer than the current Western view, the current Western understanding of the history of the Earth. So every culture here on the Earth has a different history of the Earth, and the American Western modern history of the Earth actually misses a lot of the events from the Middle Ages. So we know that when there's a lot of stuff that people don't like, then it gets erased from history. So that's why we don't have a lot of information about the Middle Ages, because there was a lot of fighting in the Middle Ages and a lot of people died, and so it was hard to keep track of all the history during the Middle Ages. So that was kind of a dark ages here in the on the planet, and how long the Middle Ages last or when they actually occurred is debatable. But we do know that sometime in the past somebody did build the pyramids, because they are there and they are not natural. And there's, again, different histories about who built the pyramids and how long ago they were built. So we can't get things straight here in our Western culture as far as the history of civilization here on the Earth. Never mind other cultures saying that the history of the Earth is much older, and the humans, for example, the Hindus say that we had a space program a long time ago, and that we had a lot of technology that we didn't have today. So we haven't been able to live peacefully here on the Earth, and that's, in my view, that's due to the lack of meditation. Because as we limit ourselves to the five senses, then we ignore the sixth sense, and it's not in the as long as we limit ourselves to five senses, we won't be able to sense the connectivity with each other. We won't be able to access the rejuvenation properties that the energetic sciences will give you, and we will be limited to a very poor history of our time here on the Earth. So when we open up our sixth sense, and the sixth sense is just one of many senses. You can read the Hindu book called the Bhagavad Gita, or you can read the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Yoga is not just about asanas. It's not about just movements. It's not about physical movements or postures. It's not about wearing yoga pants and being fit and slim. Yoga is about becoming relaxed enough to pay attention to your sixth sense and your other senses, and to be able to get centered and tune into everything. Yoga lets you tune into the universe. And as you tune into the universe, you get knowledge. That knowledge is not accessible when you limit yourself to the five senses. And a lot of people like to deaden themselves with different food and practices, which kind of box them in. So if you actually want to go out and experience and explore the universe and gain access and memory and history, you can't keep boxing yourself in, because that will keep putting you back at square one, zero, and you will have to re-begin, re-explore, research. You'll have to research again, because before we had the information, and today we don't have the information, so we got to search again, because we limited ourselves to our five senses. But as we relax as we play with each other, as we have a lot more fun here on the earth and expand our capability, we can take these technologies out of the military secret sector, out of the unacknowledged special access projects, so that we won't have to worship the congressmen and the congresswomen and the presidents. We won't have to have kings and queens here on the earth, because we will all become more connected in our understanding, and we will respect each other more and more, and we will not have to fight each other as much. And as we don't fight each other, we will maintain our history and add to our history and not start off again at square one. So it really comes down to meditating, relaxing, and sharing. And as we relax, meditate, and share, we can have more fun, and we can build things together, and we can remember. We don't have to recreate, we don't have to research, we can just remember and include more of the solar system and universe into our history. If we go back to Africa, there are many tribes in Africa that have histories that are dramatically different than the history we're taught here in the Western modern culture. So if you want to understand the shamanic traditions and include that into your overall understanding of possibility, you're really going to have to do some meditating, sitting still, or listening to some binaural beats as are sold by the Monroe Institute in Faber, Virginia. I used to live over there in Virginia. And or going to Hemisync or the Institute of Noetic Sciences, or even Robert Bigelow has a Consciousness Institute. Robert Bigelow, again, is the billionaire space company owner of Bigelow Aerospace. He also believes in this type of wishy-washy meditation kind of stuff, and he started a Consciousness Institute for expanding beyond your five senses. So not everybody is limited to their five senses. It's only those individuals who haven't done the practice, the meditation, who are still limited to their five senses. There are very unique individuals, or maybe not so unique individuals out there amongst our population who have experienced some of the wiser, like a wisdom, wise. There's many wise individuals, although they may not appear to be very intelligent, because their knowledge is so dramatically different than the sad Western educated individual, because education, again, is just limited to the five senses. But there are some dramatically more wise individuals out there who have had experiences of their own, whether it's through energy or through meditation or just knowledge. And they are on the fringes of culture, because currently, as a humanity here in the United States and around the world, we don't accept that as a valid, rational information. And that's just, again, the mob culture. And this mob culture is very supportive of war and aerospace and defense and secrecy, and also having kings, queens, respecting and worshiping bloodlines, and having congressmen, congresswomen, presidents, vice presidents, and ambassadors. So as long as we treat those individuals different, as long as we only look and care for the congressman, the congresswoman, we pay them big amounts of money, we don't care what they do with the money, we don't care if they create special access projects, we don't care if they build deep underground military bases, as long as they keep buying our raw materials and buying the food and products that we manufacture here in the public sector, we will continue to worship them and treat them special than every other individual here on the planet, and we will continue to limit ourselves to a poor history of the universe and the solar system, and have a very limited history of ourselves here on the planet. And again, we will continue to have war and have a lot of chaos. So that's all I can say. I'm just an observer. Meditation, one of the benefits of meditation is you get to observe. And as you become more of an observer, you become less of an influencer and more just an observer, because as you gain access to more than just the five senses, as you gain access to the sixth sense, you get access to more avenues of excitement, knowledge, information, and you get access to a longer lifespan as well, because you're not shaded by the poor information that you will get from many of the congressmen, congresswomen, kings, queens, ambassadors, and royalty today. So that's what observation, meditation is all about: observation, getting into the moment, and knowing. So anyway, there you go. Helena says, if one was to take a photo of Orion's belt and from space take a photo of the pyramids, you would find that they exactly line up to the inch. Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of people who, Anthony West, I believe, is one of those individuals, or a lot of people have done that analysis, comparison of Orion's belt and the pyramids over there in Egypt. Yep, good stuff, Atlanta. MBB says, it's our nature to explore. Yep. Mr. Debris says, I'd like to be on spot during the launch. During launch. Yeah, this is the, so here at South Padre Island, they have camping here. And it costs about $25 to camp out here in a tent. You got to schedule ahead of time, because as everybody else gets excited about being out here, whenever they announce a launch, the spots here at South Padre Island at Isla Blanca Park fill up rather rapidly. And there's also RV camping out here. If you want to camp out for $25 a night and pay an extra $10 a day, or put down a $100 deposit, you can have electricity as well. So if you were to camp out with your truck and a tent, and you would have access to water. And after a month's time of camping, you pay the monthly rate of $25 plus a $100 deposit. It'd be about $500 per month plus $100. You would, at the end of that month, they would deduct how much electricity you used, and you would get probably about, I got around $98 back at the end of those 2 months that I camped out here, for $500 and a $100 deposit for electricity. So I paid $2 in electricity and paid $500 when I camped out here. The only bad thing about camping out here is it is 40 miles from the launch site. So you have to go 20 miles toward Brownsville, and then the other 20 miles back toward the launch site, because we are looking at a bay here. To the right is the highway down to Brownsville, and then once you hit to Brownsville, then you make a left and you go 20 miles back toward the launch site over there to the left. So it's 40 miles each way. Or if you were kind of an energetic individual, you could buy a kayak for $200 at Walmart. You could kayak across the channel here, which is probably less than a quarter-mile distance. I kayaked here a few times across the channel. You leave your boat over there and you walk the 5 miles to the launch site. So I have done that a handful of times myself. So it is probably takes about the same amount of time if you want to jog down the beach there to the launch site, the 5 miles that it takes to get there. So it'll probably take you about the same amount of time to get to the launch site if you were to kayak across and then jog down to the launch site. Okay, so the question was, is this the best I can do with the camera? Mech-Texas. If you have another camera, please send it to me. I have 2 cameras that I use. My Nikon camera is currently doing the live stream of the launch site. So I have the 24-hour live stream with my Nikon P1000 camera over there, and it is getting that shot right now. So I am using my iPhone. I can do 4K imagery with this iPhone, but I would have to disconnect the live stream. So I'm only doing 720 pixelation right now, and that's just the best I can do for a live stream. If you have a camera and you'd like to send it to me, whoever it is that has a camera, or if you'd like to send money so I can buy another camera, or send money so I can do more of these types of trips, the gas is about $15 a day. So if you were to send $5, you would pay for a third of my gas for the day. And I have about 5 more days worth of money to get gas. And then I will be homebound until some more money comes through. Or I think around the 20th of this month, I will be getting some more cash for my work from last month. So PayPal is the best way to contribute and support the channel. $15 a day is what I need per gas. It's good to have some money for food too, but I can go a few days without having any food too. So this is how I make my living, doing this. But at the remote camera site, I have paid for the 6 months that I have access to that location. So I have paid for the rental of that land for 6 months, and so that's good to go. That camera is going to be able to go for the next, as long as I have that lot. And so I'll be able to use that during the launches of the Starship from over there, and everything I'm doing at that remote camera site is gonna help my capability and ability and knowledge to put together one of those remote cameras on a moon around Enceladus or around Triton or some of the other Ganymede, some of those other moons. I'm gonna have to have that skill to do the remote camera, and every day, every improvement I do with that remote camera over there at the remote camera site near the launch site, SpaceX Starbase launch site, is a benefit to that future mission. So if you know of any software I can learn about or use, or any remote access type of equipment, or if you have any cameras or anything like that, or any way, or every improvement I do is a step forward toward that Ocean Camera Space Corp mission. So that's why I put so much time and effort into that. I was going to go over today and add some equipment to stop the shaking, but I haven't been able to get down there today. I got word of this by Michael, Paul, and Jack at MSX, so I made this a priority today to, rather than going down to the launch site, I came out this way. It's getting pretty close, everybody, so I'll zoom out so you can get the kind of a more realistic feel for, that's pretty close. If we were to do get on one of those dolphin tour trips, the Deimos is coming into the main harbor area here rather rapidly, so that will be here probably in the next hour or less. I think maybe in 30 minutes it's going to be much bigger on the zoomed out view, and I can definitely see it now. We can definitely see it. if we ever lose reception, I'll try and reconnect several times, and if that doesn't work, I'll just record it in 4K and upload it afterwards. Sometimes when these large structures like metal and other things come by, it interferes with the signal. So as the Deimos gets close, it may interfere with the signal for the live stream. So we'll see. I'll see, and I will attempt to reconnect several times if we lose the reception. Otherwise, that's what'll happen. We will get the footage though, most likely, one way or another. Yeah, so I began doing video down here in March of last year, 2021. So I began this video photography for fun in March of 2021. I came down here and I stayed, you know. I had a lot of fun during the summer of 2021. Things went south toward the August-September time frame, but it's gotten better since then. But I'm still struggling after that second half of 2021. So, you know, how long I do this is questionable. Definitely, I will continue through June, July. But you know, every day I think about whether I will continue to do this type of thing, or just to continue the Ocean Cam mission from some other location and spend most of my time doing something else. So I'm not sure how it's going to turn out going forward, but every day I just show up and see what comes to me that day and see what thoughts I have during that day. So that's where I'm at personally. Everybody questions what they're doing and how long they should do it. So I have been questioning what I'm doing and how long I'm going to keep doing it. But I have been here tomorrow. The end of today will be a year here in Texas. I believe I got here either the 1st or 2nd of March in 2021. It's been quite a journey. For instance, if SpaceX were not to get the approval to launch out of the South Texas Starbase launch site, then the activity here might transform into a research center. Possibly they would launch offshore from 20 miles out off of the Deimos oil rig, but there would be more activity possibly out of Florida. So I could potentially relocate to the Orlando, St. Augustine, Florida area, and maybe go back to Tampa, Florida, and start a life over there, or maybe just do something else. So there's a lot. So I've been doing photography for the last year, and there's, you know, the whole planet has stuff that can be filmed and photographed. So I don't need to be hanging out here filming stuff that's not very active. There's so much other more attractive, excitement. If this area in Brownsville is going to be a drag, if it's going to be a low activity area with people trying to protect whatever they have going on here, then it's really not worth staying for myself, or probably SpaceX or some of the other individuals that might relocate here. So the money would dry up here from SpaceX in the Brownsville community. There's been some talk about maybe SpaceX would leave, they would evacuate the launch site and turn it over to someone in the community, and maybe they could put some housing there, some hotels at the SpaceX launch site. There's no chance in hell that SpaceX will be evacuating or leaving or selling the SpaceX launch site here. So if you have that in your head that somehow they will give up all the investment they put over there at the Boca Chica location, then you are simply mad. Mad, M-A-D, mad, upset, angry, unrealistic. It's not going to happen anytime soon, not in the next 70 years. So you can wait maybe 75 years from now if you're still alive, or maybe your children will pick up this mission that you've developed, that somehow SpaceX would leave this site after so much investment. You're simply mad. Jealous, you're jealous, and it's too bad because jealousy has a habit of eating away at the health and longevity of those who are jealous. So I would say learn to do some yoga, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Do that several times. If you don't want to listen to me, then don't breathe in, breathe out. And maybe you won't live that long, and then the issue will be solved. But I hope you do breathe in and breathe out. Continue to breathe in, breathe out, and learn to relax. There's a cool scene in the Back to the Future where they said, where we're going, we don't need roads anymore, right? So I believe that's what will happen in about 70 years. SpaceX won't need the launch site anymore because there won't be roads where they want to go. They won't need the launch site anymore in about 70 years. So at that point, you will have won, and maybe they will sell the launch site to you for $2 trillion. So keep your hopes up. There's always a second chance. I believe in you. For the live stream that I did earlier, today is the 28th of February 2022, I put a timestamp in the description. So if you'd like to jump ahead to when the actual Deimos began moving, I put a timestamp at the top of that description, so you can easily just click to it and wait about a minute, and that's when I noticed the movement, and I got that listed in the description. So I can start to see, there is a boat, maybe one of the towboats there, tugboats, just to the bottom right of the Deimos there. Mr. Debris says, I can see Orion in his belt now. Awesome. I don't know if Orion is a man or a woman, you know. Maybe we're being sexist by calling Orion a man. Maybe it should be a woman. I got some shorts on, so I'm gonna enjoy the weather a little bit more. It's all right. There we go. That may be a boat beneath it that is, yeah, pulling it. Could be a pilot boat, yeah. You see that over there? Yeah.
Yeah, we were coming back from Brownsville and we saw it in the channel, so we decided we better get over here.
Cool.
And get a better look.
Hey, Admiral Sink. Some type of container up there, maybe with the Bigelow Aerospace. All we need is a pump, and we need something to put the water into. So that's how we harvest the water. It'd be nice if we had some filtration system to get any salt water out of it, but to extract the salt from the ocean water. But water is a big step forward. So if we could just at least collect it into some type of container, that's how I'm thinking about doing it, Admiral Sink. A sump pump would do. Remember, every gallon of water has at least 8 pounds of earth pounds of water in it. So 600,000 pounds of 600,000 gallons of water has 4.8 million gallons. It's a little bit more than that, but at least say 5 million gallons, 5 million pounds of water. 600,000 gallons is a swimming pool of water, Olympic size, and that's 5 million pounds of water at $1,000 to $10,000 a pound. That's $5 billion. So you just need a pump that can pump a swimming pool size water into some type of container, and then you've just made $5 billion. Yep. And remember, many of these moons have a higher volume of water than the Earth does. So Ganymede has more water than all the water on the Earth. All the oceans, all the water, all the wells, all the liquid on Earth is only 1/10 of the water on Ganymede. So there is more water off the planet than on the planet, and that's how I'm talking about changing the story of humanity. Once we've gathered this water from an ocean, and once we know that ocean has more water than all the water on the Earth, then that shifts. That is like a fulcrum that shifts the story of survival here in our solar system, and we can now survive on a different moon, on a different planet, different world, and we don't have to be so serious and strict about saving the Earth, when in reality all we have to do is relocate to another moon where that water is, set up shop, put a couple apartments over there, and start living over there as well. Some people say, well, maybe we need to protect the water on the other moon and planet. Maybe our life is not that important. Maybe the life of the dolphins and the seagulls, just as here on the Earth, the life of the seagulls and the fishes and the amoebas and the algae and the grasses here around the launch site are very important. So we shouldn't launch a rocket or the Starship. It should definitely, these people think it should definitely not be launched from the Brownsville area, because maybe we have to protect the seaweed and the different Civil War and near extinct species. If they do exist, we have to protect the crabs. So we should stop eating crab meat. We should stop fishing for crabs here, and we should definitely not launch any starships out of this location, because we might harm the natural wildlife, which are really unnatural. because we do have occasional hurricanes over here which do wipe out the entire human developments here. So some people think we should protect the natural wildlife, such as the fishes and the amoebas and the blue-green algae, and protect the air. And we should maintain this ocean atmospheric condition so that we don't do any damage to the environment here. But we should definitely keep drilling for oil throughout the United States and all around the planet. We should definitely keep mining coal, keep building the coal power plants, and maybe even mine some of the rare earth minerals so that we can create solar power cells so that we can have clean fuel here on the earth. But we should definitely not launch any rockets out of here, nor should we change the course of humanity by relocating and rediscovering water out there. Because once again, these same people will tell you we have to protect the water on this other moon or planet because there might be some dolphins or some seaweed over there or some blue-green algae that we have to protect on those other planets. So please don't colonize that other moon or planet where we might find out there is water, because you might harm the wildlife over there. And again, the wildlife seems to be more important than the human life. So, but yet these same individuals will go to the fisheries and to the supermarket and buy steak. They will buy seaweed. They will buy blue-green algae. They will inhale the precious oxygen from the air. They will cut the wheat and the grasses and eat it in their cereal. And they will cut down the trees, and they will use cardboard for their Christmas shopping. But when it comes to the seaweed on these other moons and planets, and not only discovering life out there, but colonizing seems to be a terrible thing. And we need to protect the oceans, the undiscovered oceans on the other moons and planets. And definitely we should not be doing any organic composting, have any compost toilets, nor should we colonize or disgrace the landscape on the Martian real estate that we are talking about developing out there. So anyway, the different approach to this is to realize that only a meditator would know what I'm about to tell you. So this is secret Jedi knowledge, and you're lucky because I'm giving it to you for free right now. You might be watching. I do want to mention that if you don't want to watch any ads on YouTube, I know some of you are struggling, because for a long time I too struggled. I did not pay for the red members only. You can get free ads on YouTube by paying $12 a month, and then you can watch as many YouTube videos as you want ad free. It only costs $12. Your anger and your angst about having to click through ads every 5 or I don't know how long it is, every so often an ad comes up and it interrupts the live stream. But one way around that is to pay this service provider $12 a month, and then you get ad-free YouTube. And I did that about 4 months ago after being a YouTube creator here since 2016. I've been making videos since 2016, not only of meditation, but also recently in the last year of the SpaceX launch site. And having that ad-free service really makes it much more enjoyable for me to produce videos, because I don't have to keep clicking through these ads every time I try and edit one of my videos. So I would recommend to you, if you want to have a more pleasant experience on YouTube, consider paying for the $12 a month YouTube subscription. And that's what I did. So back to my story. So as a meditator, here on the planet Earth, if you do some meditation, you will realize that not only are we connected as people here on the Earth, not only is there this thing called awareness. As you relax, you realize that you're not paying attention to your arms, your legs, your toes, and your breathing anymore. Sometimes you lose track of noticing the inhale and the exhale of your breath, and it kind of goes on automatic. Your body, some part of your brain picks up that natural rhythm and effort to breathe in and breathe out, and you lose track of where your arms begin and your legs begin, and you're just more of an awareness. And as you loosen up your grip on your physical body, you expand out beyond your five senses, and you start to notice the energetics around your body and the movement and shaking and maybe some exciting expansion movements and other types of things the swaying of your non-physical energetic bodies. The more you notice that, then you can notice that maybe you're in your spouse or your children or the trees or the earth. You can notice that they also have an energetic aspect to them, and that you will begin to notice that you can feel the energy in the other beings and planets and plants, and then you will become more of a Jedi. And as you become more of a Jedi, eventually you will notice that we are all connected here, because when you go more into your pure awareness, when you're just not paying attention to your arms, your legs, your eyes, your eyelashes, your eyeballs, your muscles aren't twitching, and you notice you're more free and relaxed. The more you get into that center of awareness, the more happy you might become. And as you go through that happiness layer, you notice that awareness is also outside of your body, not only in your immediate area of awareness. That presence, that awareness is also in other bodies. And as you zero in and become more of a scientist, and you notice and you pay attention to and you use your observation and your other senses, you will feel and know, you will eventually know that the awareness and presence that is in that other body is no different than the awareness and presence that's coming out of your own eyeballs and your own senses. And it will be a little bit confusing, but you may notice that the awareness in that other body is the same. Somehow it's that same goddamn awareness that's in your body. What is this confusing thing? How can the awareness in that other body be the same as the awareness and the presence that's in your body? How is that possible? But I'll leave that up to you. But the result of that is the knowing that there is only one awareness all throughout the universe. It's in the grass, it's in the trees, and then it's in the meadows, it's in the children, it's in the enemy. That same awareness is in all the bodies, and that awareness is what allows you to view. If you were in the shamanic studies, you hear about stories about being able to see out of the eyeballs of a lizard, or maybe you could be up in the sky like the Native American Indians talk about. You can be in the bird and observe from up in the sky, the eagle. So you can observe out of the eyeballs of all these different beings here on the earth, all the different animals. You can experience their life. And the only reason that is possible is because there's only one awareness in the universe, and you are that awareness. And as you shift your perspective from the story here in your physical body, as you jump from the hard drive storage here in your physical body into the other, as you transmit your awareness, your center of location, center of perception to that other hard drive over there in that other body, you can remotely access your other body over there, and you can observe through those other bodies as well. And again, the only reason that is possible is because there is only one awareness in the universe. And as that awareness extends through every part and particle and piece of matter throughout the universe, that awareness you can observe from anywhere in the universe. And the reason that is possible is because there is only one awareness in the universe, and that awareness is alive. And that's why you can observe from every location throughout the universe instantaneously. All it takes is a little bit of relaxation and shifting of your focus to another destination from a different source location, a different hard drive, a different video camera. And since everything in the universe has this awareness in it, and that this awareness is alive, there's no particle in the universe that is not alive. And as that particle is you, everywhere throughout the universe, that is you in that particle, there is nowhere in the universe that you can contaminate, because it is all you. It is all us. We are everywhere. We are everything. Everything is alive. Everything is you. So how can you contaminate an area on another moon or planet? How can it be pure, pristine, and without you contaminating it? It's impossible. You are the moon. You are the planet. You are the earth. I am the earth. I am not on the earth. I am the earth. I am the solar system. I am the galaxy. I am the universe, because there's only one awareness in the universe, and I am that awareness. It's just a different hard drive, but it's the same awareness. It's a different story. It's a different memory. And as you relax and tune in to yourself, you will gain access to that memory and knowledge. And as you learn to travel in your energetic bodies, free of the 5 physical senses here in this physical hard drive body, you will have freedom to view from any location in your body, the universe. So there's no, as you become a meditator, as you become a yogi, as you become a Jedi, more experienced, more of the type of Jedi that maybe Yoda was, as you become like Yoda, as you become like Paul S. Mamakos, then you will realize what I'm telling you here and speaking about. For some of you, it may take several lifetimes because you're very resistant and locked into your physical senses. But that's just the nature of the game. And if you want to get out of the rat race of being a human, everyday human, you can become a Jedi and become a little bit better than your everyday human here. In 2022, February 28th, 2022, watching Deimos coming down the harbor here. So now you have the knowledge, everybody. Mr. Debris says, I'm still recovering from being a black hole last week. That is excellent, Mr. Debris. Excellent, excellent. Mr. Debris says the smaller the object in space, the better you can harvest its water. Interesting. Interesting. Admiral Sink says not launching is harming us in the super long term. Mr. Debris says Jupiter has a really bad radiation belt. The Van Allen belts are little candle lights compared to the radiation belts around Jupiter. You know, there's an individual that wrote a book about about Saturn, the ring makers of Saturn. You can check out the book at least online. Maybe look up ring makers of Saturn, and it talks about mile-long ships that the rings are being mined by ships. Anyway, there's also a video recently come out in the last 6 months about some images they took above the planet Jupiter. And, you know, it looks like the algae that we see from orbit above the Earth is also the same as the images that we see above Jupiter. So you got to remember that around the 1940s, 1950s, NASA came into being, and NASA originated out of NACA. NACA was another civilian organization around the aerospace here in the United States, and we brought thousands of Nazis from Germany over to help us build the rockets, the von Braun group. And at some period of time in the 1950s, the von Braun group convinced Congress that it was not worth having two separate organizations duplicating efforts here in the United States. So the von Braun group convinced Congress to do away with NACA, and just have this new organization called NASA. So NASA, not only did they do away with NACA, but they absorbed all the technologies and everything else from NACA. So the von Braun group was made up of those same Nazi people that came over, scientists from Germany. So the Nazi scientists brought over from Germany convinced the American people to do away with our space organization called NACA, and the Nazis created a new organization called NASA. So when it comes to understanding what's actually happening out there in space, as long as we get our information from NASA, we will have Nazi information. If we want to have real public, accurate, real information here in our public sector, and not just have it all private in the private, secret Nazi organization, NASA, then we will have to have our own commercial organizations like SpaceX tell us what's actually out there. Because when we look at the planet Jupiter, we actually see algae on the surface of Jupiter. So, I would hesitate to believe most anything that comes out of NASA, especially the gravity of the moon. So some people say the gravity of the moon is around 60% of the gravity that's on the Earth. Other people will tell you the gravity on the moon is much less. So when we send, when some of these trusting space organizations send out their satellites to the moon, they often crash because they're trusting the information given out by NASA, Nazi organization, rather than trusting the information coming out by the commercial sector. So if you want your satellite to actually land on the moon and not crash into the moon, I would advise you not to take your information from NASA. Yeah, so there is a Brave browser. It is a crypto-related browser. I have the Brave browser as well. I did notice that there was a little bit of a lag, but I was able to watch several things ad-free. But I also I switch between different browsers and stuff like that. I use a Chrome browser. I use a Microsoft browser. I use a Brave browser. So it's just easier for me as a content creator to have the actual subscription for a mere $12 a month and not have to worry about which browser I use, and to actually have it be ad-free. So Ad Plus blocker, Ad Plus as well, huh? Good, yep, good stuff. Admiral Singh says, "Don't worry, mate, I was stuck in the sun the other day." I am holding an umbrella, everybody, so I am. Oh wow, Deimos does look really big from this location. Wow, we can now see the boats as well, everybody. It is very big. Very big. It appears that I was able to get rid of about 20 people here in the live stream due to my awakened knowledge. But eventually everybody comes around to it in this lifetime or another one. Some of the truths that I have been speaking. I know it's very uncomfortable for some people locked into their five senses to continue to listen to this trash, garbage that I speak, but believe you me, it is all correct. Yeah, it's much closer, everybody. It's right on time here. Oh, we got a dolphin right here too. I'm gonna zoom out. We got dolphins here. Dolphin! Look in the water right just in this area. Keep your eyes open for any fins. I just saw a fin out here, so the dolphins are visiting us. They're being attracted to the accurate knowledge being shared here on the live stream. Yeah, Daniel's Corner. It's going up to Pascagoula, Mississippi. I'll let you know if I see a dolphin again, but I did see one just briefly here. We got some people fishing over here on the pier. I get here to the right. See a bunch of people up there, but yeah, the dolphins hang out in this area because it's about 40 feet deep, everybody. That's why the big Deimos ship and the other large ships can come through this port, because they dug, I believe they artificially, they artificially dug this port here, and that's why these big ships can come in. And you got to remember, this was not natural. This whole harbor here, this Port of Brownsville, could not have existed if they didn't dredge and dig, scrape into the bottom there, and unnaturally change the natural marine environment here. So we are looking at an unnatural aberration of life here, and so if we are able to dredge and put a port here, maybe we should also be able to launch starships. Did you see that, everybody? Right over there was a dolphin fin. We should be able to launch starships from over there 5 miles south of here, and it should be no problem. Wowzer, wowzer, everybody, wowzer. I'll zoom in as close as I can. We'll get a real good shot from here. You can see the imagery is much better than before, even though it's sketchy right now, being so zoomed in and being fuzzy. At least we can see a lot more than we used to be able to see before. So I will zoom out again. It is very close now. It will get super close, but right now it's I can see the boats. We can see the boats there beneath the platform. Mike says approximately 2.2 nautical miles from you now. Wow. I believe the distance from here to Brownsville is about 17 or so miles. So if that means it's gone about at least around 15 to 17 miles or 15 miles. So just like another 2 miles isn't that much. So it's traveled almost at least around 15 miles or so already since we started live streaming here. And another 2 isn't going to take that long. We are 2 hours into the live stream here. We're going to get a really good viewing period here. It's going to keep going the same rate of speed, and it'll be right up here, and we'll see it. It'll be about 20 feet from us when it gets over here. I believe it'll be about that close. And right now it's about 2 miles away, so nautical miles. I'll zoom out for perspective here. That's entirely zoomed out there, everybody. Again, SpaceX is here on the left. We get a view of that. You can almost see it all in one picture. Right on the far left is the launch tower, and on the right there is Deimos. Eventually, we'll be able to see both the launch tower and Deimos in the same photo. That'll be kind of cool. We might get some waves as those boats come a lot closer. So I'll keep an eye on the waves. I may have to get up, stand up, or move, but I'll see. Wow. You gotta also remember that the people who work at NASA, even if you have a lot of skill, if you're very skilled at something, and imagine that you were very patriotic and you applied to NASA, you might not get hired simply if it is a bunch of people over there who are Nazis. You might not get hired even though you might have all the skills, because it is an independent government organization with a lot of Nazi connections, and they may not like a very patriotic individual working for them. And NASA also has a defense, aerospace and defense aspect to them mission. In addition to a civilian mission, they have a defense mission, which means a secret mission. So, a lot of the information we get from NASA in the public sector, whether or not they are a bunch of Nazis, is hidden from us in the public sector, because they also have a lot of military missions as well. So, it's going to take something like a SpaceX or a Blue Origin or one of those commercial organizations to get us the real free human focused information and technology. It's not going to be coming from a competitive government organization. Daniel's Corner says the whole federal government is against patriotic people. I don't know, I'm just reading Daniel's comments here, everybody. I try not to be political, so. I'm more of a meditator than anything else. I don't really pay much attention to politics or anything like that. So I don't know the current situation or the past situation. Sometimes you have to be on the inside to know what's really going on. So I'm just talking from the public sector with what small limited amount of information that I have. So, you know, but I have world-class knowledge as far as meditation and out-of-body experiences. There's practically nobody on the earth who's better than me when it comes to meditation or out-of-body experiences. Knowledge gained from that. There are people people at my level, but there's nobody at a higher level than I am when it comes to meditation and out-of-body experiences. They can be the same as me, but they can't be. There's nobody better than me on the earth when it comes to meditation. Yeah, Bill, hypnotizing is another word for entering a trance or shifting your focus from the 5 senses to other senses. Yeah, you can call it hypnotizing. It's really just entering a different state. Just like a radio, you can turn the dial on your radio. So here in the physical world, as you view through your eyeballs, your ears, and all that, those are the 5 senses, and you can say that is a radio station of perception. And as you shift the dial on the radio station, you perceive other things. So as you loosen your foot off the pedal of the 5 senses here in the physical world at this radio station, you can tune into and observe and perceive other stations. And you can call that hypnotization. You can call it whatever you want, but yeah, it's just turning the dial a little bit and getting a different view, a different sound, a different experience. A lot of people don't know there is a dial that you can turn, and you can maintain your awareness and actually get different information. Yep, very cool. Yep. I used binaural beats developed by the Monroe Institute in 1996 to really progress in that journey. Using meta music and also guided audio to train myself to maintain awareness as I enter the deep sleep states, those unconscious states where people are normally click out or fall asleep or lose perception as the radio dial is changed and the different vibration is heard through the auditory while wearing headphones. Your brain enters a different brainwave state as you listen to these binaural beats, and as you listen for 45 minutes, you train yourself to maintain your awake state as you relax and enter the different brainwave states. So as you train yourself to do that, assisted by a CD player or whatever, then when you're not listening with a CD player and you enter that naturally through your normal course of waking and sleeping, through your sleep states, you normally transition into these states as you go unconscious every night when you go to sleep. So as you've trained yourself to maintain awareness in these deep sleep, theta and delta states, alpha states, brainwave states, then when you do that naturally, you can continue the perception, your awareness, observation, and continue with your awakeness into those other radio stations. Deimos is going to pass by us here. It's coming from the Port of Brownsville. It's going to pass by us, so within probably about 25 feet of us, and it is going to be going toward the going out of the bay here, and we'll make a left turn most likely and head up to Pascagoula, Mississippi. So it's going to Mississippi. They're going to prepare it to become a maybe a launch platform. I think they'll probably bring it back down here, put it off the coast, and launch 20 or so miles off the coast, the starships. Yep, it'll launch. Yep, I think so. I don't know if they'll have chopsticks. That's a good question, Bill. Maybe they won't catch them, huh? They'll just launch. Still a little blurry that close. I'll zoom out all the way. So that's zoomed out all the way. That's how it was before when we were zoomed in, so it's really close, everybody. Still about a little bit too far away to have them both in the same view there. Starting to be able to see some of the detail on the Deimos ship there. The different levels and things like that. Once again, I want to thank Michael Paul for putting out the information about this happening today, most likely happening. And I want to thank Jack at Makerspace X, MSX, Makerspace X in Brownsville for letting me know as well. So thank you both. That's why we got this footage today. Mr. Breed, thanks. Thank you too. Got some waves coming up. All right. That boat made a few waves here. I'm starting to get wet, so I will put my shoes on and just be ready to stand up when the Deimos comes over here and does something like that. Just happened there. I'm going to raise up the tripod once more again too, and I'll do it from a standing position. So just raising the tripod up here. Just a minute. Get shaky for about 30 seconds. Almost done. All right. That'll protect against the waves hitting the camera and everything else. Good deal. Mr. Debris says there's one thing that's true. There will be other oceans in the solar system, but none will be as beautiful as the oceans on Earth. Yeah, I don't know about that. If we trust what NASA has been telling us, then that might be true. But if we don't trust what NASA has been telling us, then maybe life is more habitable on some of these other planets as well. Maybe there are conditions just like here on the Earth, and we've been maybe the Earth is a prison, and we've been kind of held prisoners here as far as our knowledge and information. And maybe every other moon or solar system, maybe there are other places here in our solar system that are just as habitable as here on the Earth, and we just have been kept in the dark as prisoners here. So I don't know what to believe, but that's certainly a possibility, what you're saying there about this being the most beautiful ocean in the solar system. I don't know. Some people say there's 40 planets in the solar system, over 40 planets. So our current knowledge of there being 8 planets in the public sector, now that we've demoted Pluto, maybe there's a lot more planets in our solar system than we're allowed to know as prisoners. Can't really zoom in too much at this pixelation. I just lock it in and leave it. Let it come to us. Hey, Jer. There's a saying that truth is stranger than fiction, Jer. Three-quarters of a nautical mile away, says Mike. Thank you, Mike Barnes. Mr. Debris says the other oceans in the solar system are hidden under ice or dirt. No glitter, no sparkling in the sunlight. That is definitely a possible scenario, Mr. Debris, but I am not buying it as far as every other location in the solar system. I'm a skeptic, and I would have to wait and see. Oh, he just caught a fish here. This guy over here just caught a fish. He just caught a fish. I've never seen anyone else catch a fish here, but this guy just did. All right. Let me know if we're still good with the video and the audio. I know sometimes when I touch a screen like that, we lose the video, so let me know if we're still good. Wow, this thing is massive. No picture? Sorry guys, I'll restart the stream here. I apologize.